ton Twitter, ça. Twitter, direct. Pauline.
Tu as un gros lecteur en 2 jours. Non, s'il vous plaît.
At the start of the film, we find ourselves in the offices of a high-end fashion magazine, where Alice, a 40-year-old woman, is in a heated discussion with her colleagues about the color on the magazine's cover. She insists that the shade on the screen and the printed version are noticeably different. Despite reassurances from a colleague that no one will notice and that the team is tired of constant revisions, Alice remains firm in her stance. While on a business trip in Brazil, Alice learns that her boss is favoring Liz, and even invited her to a dinner with important contacts. Upset, Alice rushes to the airport. On the plane, she places a large plush parrot in the overhead bin, and another passenger, Balthazar, realizes that his seat has been taken. The flight attendant moves Balthazar to business class, seating him next to Alice. Meanwhile, Alice fends off the unwanted attention of a red-haired man, who invites her to dinner after their arrival in Paris. During the flight, Balthazar, a carefree young man, fidgets in his seat, distracting Alice as she tries to work. When the plane hits turbulence, Alice becomes anxious, and Balthazar attempts to calm her down. In the chaos, the lights flicker, and Alice, frightened, grabs his hand. After landing in Paris, Balthazar thanks Alice for the flight and introduces himself. He notices that Alice left a flash drive in her seat, but is unable to catch up with her due to his seatbelt. Alice is picked up by her friend Elizabeth, and she gives her daughter the plush parrot as a gift. Meanwhile, Balthazar, unable to return the flash drive, is picked up by his father in a convertible. As Alice and Elizabeth drive, Elizabeth suggests Alice meet a man named Richard, but Alice isn't interested in dating a doctor. Back at the office, Alice's colleagues gossip about her lack of a romantic life, pointing out that she hasn't been in a relationship for 7 years. Her secretary informs her of a call about a missing flash drive, but Alice doesn't recognize the name and ignores it. Later, Alice confronts her boss, expressing frustration that he is giving Lise more control over the magazine. Her boss, Vincent, explains that Lis's energy and passion for life are what the readers want. He even suggests Alice switch to editing a fireplace magazine, thinking the lighter workload will give her more time for her family, but Alice turns down the offer. That evening, Alice's ex-husband, Julian, arrives to pick up their daughter, and Alice gives him a quick neck massage. She then realizes her flash drive is missing and calls Balthazar, who suggests they meet at a bar. When Alice arrives, Balthazar introduces her to his friends from the architecture department. Alice's colleagues are shocked to see her at the bar with a much younger man. Realizing that the flash drive is still at Balthazar's place, Alice agrees to go there. They head to his apartment on a moped, and a photo of them together gets posted on Twitter. At Balthazar's home, Alice meets his father, Luke, and his father's new girlfriend, Anna, a woman from his past. Luke shows Alice a new ad campaign, and though she finds it crude, she admits there's something interesting about it. Balthazar retrieves the flash drive and nervously asks if they could meet again for coffee. Alice politely declines, explaining that it's not her style. The next day, Alice notices her colleagues giving her strange looks at work. Her secretary informs her that the photo of her and Balthazar on the moped went viral, creating a buzz. Her boss is thrilled with the publicity and encourages Alice to keep up the act. Alice's friend Simon suggests she go to a party with Balthazar, which she decides to do. The next day, Alice shows up at Balthazar's college in a new, more relaxed look. She proposes they grab coffee, but Balthazar, distracted by an upcoming exam, agrees to meet. Later, Alice asks her daughter for advice on current music to seem more in tune with the younger generation. That evening, she and Balthazar go to an art exhibition, where Alice's colleagues are curious about her new companion. When a gallery owner asks Balthazar for his opinion, he bluntly criticizes the artwork, saying it fails to connect with people. Alice tries to smooth things over, explaining that people at these events expect polite feedback, but Balthazar is frustrated, as he knows talented people who don't have access to such platforms. At the exhibition, Lise offers the couple a recreational substance, and though Balthazar declines, Alice takes it to maintain her youthful image. Later, Alice receives a call from Elizabeth, reminding her of a dinner with a doctor, but Alice lies, saying her daughter is ill. Balthazar helps her catch a cab, and at the dinner, Alice behaves provocatively, though she soon starts to feel unwell, which doesn't go unnoticed by the other guests. The following day, Alice shows up at the office with Balthazar, introducing him to Vincent. She wears a daring outfit and brings Balthazar to a fashion show. When a model stumbles on the runway, Balthazar helps her up. At the after-party, Vincent invites Alice and Balthazar over, but when Lise starts making uncomfortable comments, Alice pulls Balthazar away to dance. However, Lise tells Vincent that Alice is just putting on a performance, and that Balthazar isn't really her partner. Alice, feeling pressured, decides to leave with Balthazar. They escape the scene and head to Alice's apartment, where Balthazar unexpectedly kisses her, leading to an intimate night together. The next morning, Alice becomes anxious and tries to send Balthazar away. Despite the rain, Alice notices that Balthazar has lost a shoe, so he improvises by covering his foot with a plastic bag. While Alice goes out to buy breakfast, Balthazar finds her book, Island Without an Ocean, and asks her about it. At that moment, Alice's daughter arrives home with Elizabeth. Alice quickly introduces Balthazar as her intern and shows him out, apologizing for what happened between them. Later, Alice shares her concerns with her colleagues. When she returns home, she finds mysterious signs and a tape player hidden under a bench. The tape contains Balthazar's voice, instructing her to hop on a moped, not ask where the driver is going, and just enjoy the ride. She spends another night with Balthazar. The following day, Alice's behavior at work becomes more relaxed, and she confidently puts Lise in her place. That evening, she reflects on her situation and realizes that she needs to have an honest conversation with Balthazar. He invites Alice and her daughter to spend the weekend at a seaside house, but Alice asks him to take things slower. He agrees, admitting that meeting her has made him feel happier than he has in a long time. Alice, however, tells him that she can't act carefree or do youthful things anymore because of her responsibilities, her family, and her demanding career. Troubled by their age difference, she suggests they stop seeing each other. At home, Alice gazes out of the window, deep in thought. The next day, her friend Simon is disappointed to hear about the breakup, noting that Alice had seemed happier with Balthazar. He warns that Balthazar will be hurt unless Alice made it clear the relationship was only for work. Alice is spared from responding when Vincent interrupts with the news that her recent article has been a great success. Later, Alice learns that her daughter got into a fight at school after a classmate showed a video of Alice dancing with a young man. Her ex-husband Julian advises Alice to explain everything to their daughter herself. Meanwhile, Balthazar's father, Luke, leaves the apartment to him as he goes away with his girlfriend. Luke reveals that he, too, once dated an older woman when he was Balthazar's age, but eventually shifted his attention to younger women. At work, Alice helps her boss select a model for the magazine's upcoming cover. Her colleague, Tracy, suggests using Balthazar, recalling how he impressed at the fashion show. Alice tries to dissuade her, but Vincent pulls Alice aside and warns her that mishandling situations like this could jeopardize her job. Alice leaves the office and calls Balthazar, but he doesn't answer. He's at home, binge-watching TV, eating junk food, and drinking to cope with the breakup. When Luke returns and sees his son in this state, he encourages him to clean up. When Alice arrives and rings the doorbell, Luke covers for Balthazar, pretending it was he who had been drinking after being dumped. Over coffee, Alice tells Balthazar about the magazine's offer to feature him on the cover. Misunderstanding the conversation, Balthazar gets angry, thinking it's just another career move for her, and storms out. On the day of the photo shoot, Alice doesn't tell the management until the last minute that Balthazar won't be showing up. She prepares to confess this to Vincent, but just as she's about to, the secretary informs them that Balthazar has arrived. Luke accompanies his son to the shoot, wishing him luck. Balthazar heads to the dressing room to get ready, but things take a turn when Simon shows up and confesses that he made up the story about Alice using Balthazar for her career. Balthazar, confused, confronts Simon for clarification. Feeling hurt and betrayed, Balthazar walks onto the set, publicly kisses Alice, and then leaves. The photographer, rude and unprofessional, adds to the tension, causing Balthazar to walk out mid-shoot. Alice chases after him, and in front of everyone, he accuses her of being a hypocrite who used him to boost her career. Furious, Vincent fires Alice for lying and breaking his trust. Alice packs her belongings and leaves the office. At home, she finds Balthazar's missing shoe and listens to his messages on the tape player. Realizing she wants him back, Alice goes to his college, where she is mistaken for a guest lecturer in the lecture hall. She uses the opportunity to apologize to Balthazar in front of the class, saying she's willing to do anything to make things right. The couple reconciles, and this time, their relationship is genuine. In the end, Alice publishes a book titled La Basket, and she continues to enjoy life with Balthazar by her side. End the movie. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.